Are you people actually still bagging these shitty discs? Good thing you have me here to steer you in the right direction. I'll get it out the way early. If you still have a Berg in your bag, there's not much more reason to keep watching, because clearly you haven't been listening to me. I'm glad you're back though, because I have this joke ready. What did the Berg thrower say to the other disc golfer? 5. Get it? Because he double bogeyed and he throws the Berg. That's me implying that people who throw the Berg are not good. Hey, remember, I said this was a joke. You were supposed to think it was funny. I really don't see why someone would need to throw a Buzz OS. It's bad enough you throw a Buzz. Why would you want to make it worse? If you wanted an overstable mid-range, you could have picked so many better ones. I don't even need to give suggestions, because you could have gone to your nearest disc golf shop, close your eyes, pick from the used section, and it would have been a better disc. I've never heard someone who enjoyed their life say they bagged a Buzz OS. So make sure to check on your friends. I know it's still freshly 2024, but if you haven't gotten over the whole Rolo thing yet, can you hurry up? I understand that there is a group of disc golfers this disc is actually useful for, and by all means, no matter whatever stupid thing I say, throw whatever disc works for you, because that's what is important. Just know, if you throw a dumb disc, I'm going to remind you that you throw a dumb disc. For example, if you still bag the Destroyer and can't throw over 400 feet, you'd be better off throwing a Rolo. This is one of those moments that I'm exaggerating, so no need to comment why you think I'm wrong here. And if you do, I'm just going to assume you bag a Rolo. If you get offended by some person on the internet making fun of your favorite disc, you're more insecure than someone who bags a Mamba. Again, joke. The funny thing is, I would encourage most disc golfers to bag the Mamba. Everyone who unironically bags the Rolo should invest in a couple of Innova Mambas. You might find yourself the next max distance driver for your bag. And if you'd like that, try out a Leopard. Sometimes people forget about the classics, but your roots will never fail you. Shout out Dave. He really knew what he was doing back then. Don't get a DX Leopard though. I know you might think it was cool back in your starter pack days, but I can assure you, you've outgrown it. That disc is meant for significant others to throw into trees. I'm talking all genders. I've seen dudes nearly throw DX Leopards backwards while their girlfriends park the hole. Funny enough, that guy bags a Mamba nowadays. And if you guessed his girlfriend was way out of his league, ding ding ding, you won yourself a brand new Rolo. I'm sorry, Lone Star Ranger team members, I just can't get on board with the Armadillo, Copperhead, or Superdillo. Never has a thumb track been a good addition to a disc. It's just a crutch for people who think it helps their forehand. It doesn't. And if you think it feels good when you putt, then I gotta ask if everything's okay, because there's just no way. It's like a pig, but worse. It's just a knockoff. And why would you want a worse version of a shitty disc? That just doesn't make sense. The same thing could be said about the Westside Discs Harp. The disc golf community can stop debating if it holds up to the zone, because it's not even close. It's been years since I've heard such a claim, but I'm sure there are still plenty of people out there waiting for the takeover. I'm afraid that's not going to happen, and if you currently bag a Harp, save yourself the time and change to the zone now. You're only doing yourself a favor. But if you even think about bagging a Zone OS, stop yourself immediately. There is just no reason to bag one. The zone is already perfect, so why mess with perfection? Just like the Harp, there's no reason to bag one. You don't need any more overstability. Sure, there will be times when the wind is super bad, but your zone will hold up. And if not, there's this thing called hyzer. If you bag a Zone OS, you're probably a Brodie Smith fan. You know, because it's his Tour Series disc. Or I meant it as an insult. I'll let you decide. Along the same lines, you don't need to bag either the Ringer or Banger Zone. It's not worth it. Again, the zone is already good enough. We can argue based on the feel of the disc, but I've thrown each of them, and the only disc that flies like a zone is a damn zone. So don't fuck with what's working. I never understood why the Groove got so much hate, but the Monarch doesn't. It's weird too, because I bet 90% of disc golfers would be able to throw the Groove better than the Monarch. Now don't get me wrong, it shouldn't be that way. I just assume most people throw forehand Annie, and the Monarch can't handle that. If you ever thought about putting this disc anywhere near your bag, just remember you're better than that. If someone hasn't told you that you're worth it, you are. Remember that shit next time bagging a fucking Monarch comes anywhere near your head. I was just scrolling through Innova's catalog and noticed there's a disc called the T-Bird Plus. That sounds more like a shitty streaming service than a Frisbee. And I'm not even convinced that it's real, because in all my days of playing, I've never heard of that in my life. And T-Bird fans never forget to tell you all about their favorite disc and all its varieties. Personally, I think the T-Bird 3 is the best. Only because it is. But I don't think you can go wrong, except for the T-Bird Plus. But then again, nobody's spending $5.99 a month to throw that crap. Once again, I have to be the person that gives the hard talks because your friends are too much of bitches, to be honest with you. Get the tilt out of your bag. How often do you even throw it? And if you even start counting, we have a problem. I used to play rounds with my buddy throwing spike hyzer tilts on every shot we could. I never saw him break 4 down the entire time I went to college with him, and I averaged -14. I can promise that the tilt is not the ideal shot. I'll give you that there are occasions where the tilt could be super useful. I totally get it. I think it's awesome for people to be able to throw a grenade shot without having to worry about the grip. The problem is, majority of tilt throwers would rather throw the damn thing upside down than how it's supposed to be. I putted with the Banger GT for 2 years, so when I say people that putt with these things only do it because they want to be controversial, I mean it. You know how many fights I started justifying why the groove was necessary for how I wanted to putt? No, Harold, I just thought it was funny when you got angry when I talked shit about your daggers and why my bangers were better. My favorite thing about being 22 around middle-aged men is that no matter how mean I am, people just laugh it off because I'm still young enough to get away with it. For all you thought I was just a keyboard warrior back here, nah, I'm not afraid to call people out on their poor disc selection. It's not disc shaming, because I always say my opinion shouldn't matter, even the slightest. Bag whatever's gonna work. However, I suggest things for a reason. I just do it in a douchebag way. But hey, you wouldn't watch if I was nice to every disc. If I made you laugh, make sure to drop a sub. It helps the channel out. And smack that like button so I know to keep making these videos for all ya. See you in the next one, weirdos.